Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all the panels. So my name is Mohd Fazuan bin Muhammad Isa with matrix number 2019528143. My supervisor is Professor Madya Ismail Nasuddin bin Ahmad, and my final project title is Confined Space Work Area Issues and Solution. Firstly is an abstract. So in my abstract, I was explained that this research is a case study research. So in this study, the study was conducted with authorized entrant as standby person or ASP from telecommunication company in Negeri Sembilan, Malaysia, and this ASP from this company will take an assessment from questionnaire. So this questionnaire is a tools that convert into a Google form to study the risk management of confined space work at this company. As an introduction, so confined space was described based on OSHA description is a large enough space for workers to enter and perform certain jobs. And second is this space is a limited restricted for entry and exit. And third is this space not designed for continuous occupancy. Next is the objective. Objective of this study or this research is to analyze the issues involving confined space, including the causes and hazards. Second is to analyze the solutions for issues involving confined space. And third is to develop a new solution or system based on the research review that have been done. The scope of project is research is done by gathering the information on issues involving of confined space and solution to solve the issues from any scientific articles, journal and books related to confined space work area. And second is statistic and data on issues involving of confined space collected from countries like United States and Malaysia, as it is to comparing the common issues happen involving confined space. And third is solutions from scientific articles, journals and books that are relevant to the present will be taken and reviewed to better understand. And last is analysis of all data information of solutions on issues involving confined space to obtain the best solution and in accordance with the principle and safety by DOSH and OSHA. And this is my methodology. There is a 4 phase in my methodology. So phase 1 is an initial study, phase 2 is a data collection, phase 3 is analyzing information, and phase 4 is develop result. So in my in this FYP2 in this semester, the crucial part is 3 phase. The last 3 phases is a phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4, but phase 1 is still ongoing phase and more on the literature review. Phase 2 data collection, analyzing information and develop result is a phase that are crucial in this semester. In data collection part is about the analysis issues, causes and hazards at the confined space. So I use 3 tools to analyze issues, causes and hazards at the confined space. And the tools is a confined space characterization tools, confined space risk assessment tool, and confined space risk estimation tool. This is an example of confined space characterization tool that have been converted into a Google form or a questionnaire. And this confined space characterization tool function is to characterize this confined space. This is a confined space or not, and to know the condition and surrounding at the confined space. While this is a confined space risk assessment tool that have been converted into Google Form 2, and this confined space risk assessment tool function is to assess the risk, the issue and hazards that will or have been existed in this confined space. And lastly is a confined space risk estimation tool, and this is some example of confined space risk estimation tool. And this tool is to estimate the risk that have been assessed before, and this is to estimate the risk whether it is extreme risk or high risk, or is it moderate or low risk. And here is a part of a result and discussion. This is a part of phase 3 and phase 4 was conduct. Phase 3 is analyzing information, and phase 4 is develop result. So in this result discussion, I have been classified into five analyzing 5 information and result, and is location and surrounding of the confined space, the characteristics of the confined space, the assessment and level risk of at the confined space, the hazard description, and this estimation on the confined space, and lastly is a management of the system at the confined space. Okay, right now, and I want to show you some example of my case study research, and this my case study research on confined space A, and this confined space A is located at Senayan Negeri 9, and the surrounding of the confined space A is located as a sewage and the underground, and we can see here, and this worker is want to install a fiber cable into the sewage or this confined space, and this is a characteristic of the confined space A, and this characteristic information got from the confined space characterization tool that have been filled by ASP from this company. And I got to know that this type of confined space is a manhole, and this space is a confined space because it is a space that satisfies the 3 characteristics that I have been told before. And I also got to know about the surrounding of this confined space, and it has one entrance, and it also have a good access. And this the third result, and this is the assessment and the level risk at the confined space A. This assessment and level risk information that I got from the confined space risk assessment tool that have been filled by Azman for the entry supervisor at this telecommunication company. And I got to know from this information that it is have a restricted entry, or is it? Of course, because it's a confined space, and also may have oxygen levels below 19.5%. That means it's dangerous, and also may cause a fire explosion, may have engulfment, but machinery can start while in the space, but it also can entanglement with machinery occur. So it also can may liquid or steam flow in the space, and the hazard that will be in this confined space is mechanical hazards, electrical hazards, because it is due to the task or the works that the staff, the workers have been done in this confined space. And while this is a hazard description and this estimation on the confined space A that I got from the information from the confined space risk estimation tool, and that have been filled by this entry supervisor from this company, and he also filled the 4 major hazard that will be existed in this confined space A. So the first hazard is oxygen level can be below 90.5%, and second hazard is physical hazards like slip or falls, and third hazard is electrical hazards due to using machine and work with cable, and the fourth hazard is water can be entering the manhole and disturb the process, also endanger ASP to get electrocution. And he also have been classified this hazard into a major, moderate, or likely, or possible. And he also mentioned that he can engineer this hazard like using a blower fan, and also using administration like work procedure, the training, and also using a PPE. Okay, now we can look from this estimation tool risk estimation tool that this hazard 1, 2, 3, 4 is a hazard that has been filled by this entry supervisor from his company, and he also have been classified this hazard, and this hazard I have been using risk estimation tool to know whether the hazard is extreme risk, high risk, or moderate risk, or also low risk. And we can look that hazard 1 and 2 is at extreme risk based on what he mentioned, and hazard 3 is at a high risk, and hazard 2 is at a moderate risk. Based on result and information that I've got, so I developed a solution based on emergency management system, monitoring system, and Internet of Things system. So, but in emergency management system, I use an infographic information to explain the emergency management system that need to be used based on certain hazard that will exist in certain confined space. And lastly, this is a monitoring Internet of Things system. And in this monitoring Internet of Things system, I have been used TKK software to develop a solution or a system for a certain hazard. And in this example, I've been used TKK software to know the oxygen level for in this confined space A, and detect the level of level of the oxygen, and is it a danger or not. If a danger, the buzzer will turn on, and Internet of Things system will make an alert using a wireless system to make an alert to the workers and the staff inside or outside of the confined space, and emergency management will take over the system. Thank you to panel to lend your ear for hearing my presentation, and this is my contact, my email and my contact number. If you feel freely to ask me about my study and my research, and thank you again.